Good deal.
Hey guys, welcome to Rolling with T-Bone. If you're new here, welcome in. We invite you to check out this video and check out some of our others. If you like what you see, maybe consider subscribing to our channel. If you're old here, welcome back. You know what's going on as we dive into tonight's episode. I hope y'all enjoy.
Alright guys, welcome back. Welcome in. Don't really have a subject for today's video. It's just had a pretty evening after work and I decided to go for a ride, and y'all were just fortunate enough that I had a charged up battery and brought you along with me. But I guess it's a good time as any to discuss a couple of things. One of the things being is that the content on the channel, probably after this week, is going to cut back for a little while. I don't know if I've hit a content writer's block, or I just don't have too much. I'm studying on a couple of things as far as the cryptid videos go, but I just haven't had no push to want to shoot content. I've been wanting to just get back into having more time for riding, and you know, I've even kind of, with the weather the way it is, haven't had a chance to ride, kind of lost my desire to ride a little bit. So I may end up cutting this back to every couple of weeks. We'll see, unless something drastic happens. Once a week, it's really just getting hard for me to do once a week videos. Lack of content, lack of time to do them, weather. I mean, it's rained every day for the last 7 weeks here in North Georgia, and you know, if it hadn't been nice enough this afternoon to get out on the bike after work, there might not have even been no video tonight. But I just, you know, I don't know, like I say, I just haven't had no desire, nothing really content wise to talk about. There's not a whole lot going on with the rain, you know, and I just don't want to get out and get soaking wet riding on a motorcycle. And then sometimes I just want to ride the bike and not bring a camera in, which is what I've been doing the last several times I've been out on the bike. I haven't brought the camera, but that's kind of one of the things kind of wanted to talk about, is that the content is going to be cutting back just a little bit. Yeah, I don't see a big dramatic change in my views from doing it every single week. I mean, I've went over a year now and I have not missed one Monday episode, and I can't tell that it's done anything for my channel. So, and I'm not getting paid for this. I'm not monetized. I'm not trying to be monetized. So, you know, if I don't get a video out every week, I don't get a video out every week. So, you know, it is what it is. But I just kind of wanted to let you guys know that that was the way the wind was blowing. I wish it was nice enough where I could, you know, ride every day and we could take good trips and, you know, nice day trips and go on nice long rides and be able to record stuff. But right now it's just, there's just too many factors that aren't lining up in a straight line, if that makes sense. All right, as we leave the motorcycle shop, oh man, I tell you that, guys, I tell you something I want to talk about is these subjects that we talk about sometimes on the channel, not just my channel but other channels, you know, Bigfoot, paranormal, ufology, stuff like that. You know, I try to keep in mind when I'm talking to people about this kind of stuff, it just, up to about 10 years ago, all this stuff was still pretty taboo. Nobody talked about it. You know, you didn't talk about stuff that you saw in the sky, or noises that you heard out in the woods, or, you know, you always kept that stuff to yourself. You didn't very taboo to talk about it, and now people talk about it. And you kind of want to, you know, you don't want to be patronizing about it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. You don't want to belittle people on what they think and what they believe. Because if they're interested in sharing their story with you, that's pretty important. You know, because a lot of times people don't trust people enough to share their stories with them. You know, talk about seeing Bigfoot or, you know, hearing a bump in the night. People don't talk about that stuff much. They don't want to, you know, they don't want to share. And I always try to be, you know, handle people who share their stories with me about stuff like that. I always try to handle them a little, you know, a little bit, not delicate, but I always want to show them the respect for sharing their story, because, you know, again, like I say, we come out of a time not too long ago when, you know, it was very taboo to talk about any of that stuff. And when people choose to talk to you about it, and they choose to involve you in their stories, and they trust you enough to share their experiences with you, they don't want people patronizing them. You know, so, yeah, you know, the whole I don't believe in that stuff, but let me listen to your story so I get views on my channel. I don't believe in it, but I'll let you tell me your story. Yeah, that's patronizing. And I had a guy get a hold of me here a couple of weeks ago. He on Facebook Messenger, and he said, you know, he said, I would like to come on your channel and share some of my experiences. And of course, I talked to him about Frog and Lolly, the mythical riders channel, about what Froggy and Lolly were doing. And he said, you know, there's a lot of channels on YouTube where you could talk about this kind of stuff. He said, but, you know, you always feel like when you're talking to them that they're trying to find the gotcha moment, the get you moment, and I get that. I get that. Because, you know, I've had things happen. You know, and of course I've shared a few stories here on this channel. But, you know, when you choose to open up to somebody and you choose to involve them in your stories and you choose to share your stories with them, you know, you don't want somebody to patronize you about it, or, you know, somebody to make fun of you or belittle you for what you believe. You know, I get that, but we'll see. You know, and that kind of goes back to what I was talking about a minute ago with the channel itself. You know, it's going to be slowing down just a little bit. You know, maybe at some point I can work in stuff like that, where I can, you know, interview people and talk to them, share their stories. I can't get StreamYard to work on any of my devices. I downloaded it and tried to use the free version, and I just never could get it to do what I wanted it to do. So I pretty well must just gave up on it and said I ain't interested in it. But, you know, and who's got money? I don't have money to go out and buy laptops and desktop computers and stuff that I would never use for any other reason. Everything that I do on the internet, I use my cell phone or my tablet to do. I've never had a reason where I've needed a laptop, because I thought about buying one a little while back, and I thought, you know, I bought a bigger tablet with more memory in it, though that's what I'm using now to edit my videos with, and I like it a whole lot better because I got more memory on it, more data storage, more files, bigger files. I can do bigger files. You know, I can do hour-long videos now. Before, I had to keep my videos, if my videos got over 34 minutes long, then I was in trouble. If my clips got over, you know, 8 minutes long each clip, it was hard to get them to format, and it was hard to get them to convert into a video. So certainly the bigger tablet with more memory is much better. But I had thought about getting a laptop, and I thought, man, you spend $700, $800, $900 for a laptop, and of course you'd want to buy one with at least 1 terabyte of memory. I mean, anything less than that, you just might as well stay with a tablet. But gosh, 1 terabyte. I looked at one laptop that had a terabyte of memory, and that thing was like $1,000, not $999. I was like, and I do a lot of other stuff with $1,000. But it's just one of those deals where I don't make no money off this channel, and I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to be monetized. I'm not trying to get rich off of the channel or anything like that. I'm not even trying to make any money. So everything that I do for this channel comes straight out of my pocket. And that's just and it's easier for me that way because I don't become beholden to no one. You know what I mean? If you got a Patreon and channel memberships and people join your channel or whatever, they kind of expect something for their money, is I guess what I'm trying to say. But that kind of goes back to what I was talking about a minute ago about the when you're talking to people about their experiences, whether it be UFO, Bigfoot, paranormal, ghosts, whatever, to you just got to approach these things like like you would want somebody to treat you. You treat them with respect their stories, and treat them like you would want to be treated. And you go in, with the I don't believe in any of this attitude, then you're just pushing people away from you. You're not going to grow like that. But I do have some stories that are coming that I am going to talk about. I do have some more cryptid content coming. But right now, guys, I'm just not feeling it. And I haven't missed in over a year, but it's not been that long ago, year and a half, nearly 2 years ago, that I thought about putting the channel on pause for a little while. And we've done talked about all that, kind of had that one video to break out and got a bunch of subs out of it, and that re-energized me. But right now I'm on mental overload. I just ain't feeling any of it right now. And it's been a long cold winter, and now the spring, it's raining every day. Y'all know how it is. You just feel blah. You just there ain't no creative juices. It's for content like we shoot, motovlog content, the excitement of getting to go out and find that new road, and the weather be nice, and I have to worry about ruining a camera if it gets caught in the rain, or is it going to just rain so hard that I'm going to get killed out here trying to ride a motorcycle. So you can you can get down and out about it. And like I say, it's one of those things where you'll see the content slow down just a little bit. I ain't going nowhere. I ain't going to stop my channel, and I ain't going to quit uploading, but I am going to be restricting it a little bit. We're probably going to get off of the once a week videos for just a little bit. Number one, because of just the way things going on, life is happening. At the same time, a lot of other things is happening. So, but like I've thought about too, and y'all let me know in the comments if you'd be interested. I've thought about just taking a camera with me and just recording a little bit, like every day, just like a week with T-Bone. This is what I do in a week's time. This is, I've thought about even doing that, just taking a DJI camera and just putting it in the truck and just keeping it with me. And when if something comes along that I think would be interesting for you guys, just record it, and then at the end of the week put it all together and make a video out of it. Y'all let me know, would you like to see something like that? It may not always be on a motorcycle. It may be something I'm doing at work that I find that y'all think y'all might find interesting. So y'all let me know, would you be interested in something like that? But I tell you what, guys, I think for now we got this episode. But I just, I know it ain't no spectacular episode, but I just kind of wanted to be real with you guys. I've always tried to be transparent with you and let you know exactly what I'm doing and what's going on. So I wanted to do that with this video, just kind of give you guys a heads up. If you don't see a video every week, you know what's going on. And I'm sure we'll get past this funk as we get on up in the summer. The rain will hopefully slow down and slow up, and maybe be able to shoot more, interesting content. But with limiting the videos to every 2 weeks, or maybe even every 3 weeks, we'll just have to see. It gives me more time to study cryptid content to get out to you guys, and I don't have to feel rushed, because that's a pet peeve of mine. I don't know if y'all are like that, but I do not like feeling like I'm being rushed. I do not like being rushed whatsoever. I like to be able to take my time, hit on something, and be right with it and give the right information. And if you start feeling like you're being rushed, then you start missing points that you were wanting to make, or you start, things start not adding up or whatever. And I don't want that. I want to give you the best content that I possibly can. There it is, guys. I'm going to say we got a regular old episode of Rolling with T-Bone anyway. I'm going to drop it off right here. Y'all remember to like, share, comment, watch a few of our videos if you're new here. If this is your first one, this probably ain't the best one to start out with. I invite you to go back through the archives and check out some of the other videos, the older ones. And if you see one that you like, consider giving us a subscribe. But I'll tell you what, guys, until the next time, y'all take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and hey, thanks for watching.
Through the peak so high he roams alone, T-Bone rides where the wild winds have blown. A shadow cast on the jagged stone, a legend lives where the seeds are sown. Carving canyons with his steady hand, the mountains pulse he understands. Through the thunder and the shifting sand, T-Bone rides this rugged land. He talks to stars in the velvet night, his steed a whisper of pure moonlight. The echoes follow his fearless flight, through paths untamed and out of sight. Carving canyons with his steady hand, the mountains pulse he understands. Through the thunder and the shifting sand, T-Bone rides this rugged land. The rivers speak of his fabled name, the fire roars like his burning flame. Every crevice holds his claim, a rider wild untamed. The wind hums low as he strides ahead, through trails where countless dreams have fled. The mountains whisper tales unsaid, of T-Bone's spirit never dead.